Rumors are that allegedly Simon is fearing for his life. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly simonguobadia is fearing for his life. What's going on? I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that simonguobadia is fearing for his life due to recent actions by his soon-to-be ex-wife, Porsha Williams. However, sources say this isn't Simon's first time fearing for his life when previously being up against Porsha's erratic fits of rage. The source continued, "Everyone knows that Porsha has an explosive temper, one that has gotten her demoted on Real Housewives of Atlanta and her own spinoff show canceled. But it is Simon who now has allegedly become too familiar with Porsha's anger. Rumors are that Simon is fearing for his life after Porsha allegedly showed up to their marital home with a gunman. This incident left Simon badly shaken up," said the source, "and left him fleeing the country not out of spite but out of safety concerns. Simon's friends and family allegedly are begging him to get a restraining order against Porsha, something he wouldn't mind doing if he wasn't so afraid of Porsha's wrath. Family and friends of Simon allegedly believe that Simon was being terrorized by Porsha throughout their marriage whenever she couldn't get her way. Family and friends have begged Simon to leave out of fear for his safety as recent as last November, when Porsha allegedly found out about his infidelities. Only now is Simon taking their advice," said the source, "and it's better late than never." Now, kinfolk, this is some new information about a rumor that involves Porsha and Simon's, it seems like, very, very dramatic divorce proceedings. Now, kinfolk, right off the bat, I think it's one thing that we all can agree on about this rumor, and it involves Porsha and what she allegedly did. And it's this. If Porsha did show up with a gunman to her and Simon's marital home, then I think we all can agree that that was very careless of Porsha. What was she thinking? Something like that can turn the divorce upside down, and actually, even though Porsha filed for the divorce, can put everything in play for Simon to benefit from. You had Simon fleeing the country. Porsha said that it was out of spite after he changed the locks and the garage code. But if you're Simon, you can say, well, actually, I fled the country out of safety concerns because I have on camera, because I'm sure there are cameras around, Porsha showing up with a man with a gun to try to force her way into our home. Now, with that, I think Porsha has made a big mistake, a very not so thoughtful calculation on how to retrieve some of her things from her home. And one can believe that Porsha probably did have normal access to the house, but it was only when she showed up with a gunman that Simon had to put the locks and change the locks and the security codes and the garage codes on everything on the property. So this was a miscalculation on Porsha's behalf, and as, again, we all can agree, a very careless mistake, if true. Kinfolk, the next part of this rumor, it has to do with Simon and why Simon probably now has the upper hand in his divorce with Porsha. And it's this. There is so much evidence from Porsha exhibiting an explosive-like behavior. She has shown us this explosive behavior or erratic temper, as the sources are saying, on Real Housewives of Atlanta, where she has attacked a cast member, has allegedly attacked a friend of the show, and even on her own spinoff show, where it appears that she was trying to either fight her own family members or Dennis' family members, or even some of Simon's family members. Who knows? But however, it is very well documented that Porsha does have this explosive anger, something that Simon can manipulate and ultimately use to his advantage. How could he use this to his advantage? Well, he can say, well, I am in fear for my life. And I feel like if Porsha does not get the things that she wants out of this divorce, my life could be put into danger. So the judge could have pity on Simon and not actually reward Porsha with the things that she may be asking for, even though it's a prenup. And then he might also give Simon a restraining order against Porsha that would keep her from doing some of this behavior or scaring Simon away from trying to protect himself and his assets throughout these entire divorce proceedings. So what she has effectively done is actually made Simon look like the victim in all of this, when very well Porsha may actually be the actual victim, or at least the actual financial victim on paper. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I do hope is true is this. I really do hope that the cameras at Real Housewives of Atlanta are rolling. Allegedly, the camera started to film Porsha last month or a couple of weeks back when she announced her return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And for Porsha's sake, I hope the cameras are rolling when this incident occurred, because maybe the cameras picked up on something that we are not privy to that can make Porsha showing up with an alleged gunman to her and Simon's home look reasonable or at least justified. But with that, I do feel like Porsha is really clocking in and giving us this content and this storyline, and she is really, she really has, I think, created this big interest in her and Simon's divorce proceedings. Now, a lot of people say this is for show, but my rumors are saying this is actually true information and true drama that is going on between Simon and Porsha. But I would like to see the evidence that Simon has, or I would like to hear Simon recount everything that he said happened when Porsha allegedly showed up with a gunman, because that's going to be some very interesting information or a very interesting testimony to hear, because it's really going to show us how deep and how dramatic this divorce has gotten. Something I think we have not seen on Real Housewives of Atlanta when it comes to a divorce since, I want to say, Kenya, or really Apollo and Phaedra. So Porsha having the cameras roll, I think, have the cameras potentially rolling, can benefit her in some ways. And I really do hope they are rolling so it can clear up this PR nightmare, I think, that can happen for Porsha when trying to plead her case to a judge. Now, kinfolk, the last part of this rumor has to do with Simon and his family, and I think it's quite honestly, somewhat plausible at least. And it's this. I think Simon's family from the jump, or at least close friends, have warned him about Porsha's erratic behavior or explosive anger, especially after watching how she acted on her own spinoff. I mean, if you are a true friend of Simon or a brother, you probably would be in his ear telling him to watch out for her anger or try not to upset her, because you see what you would have to deal with. And it was kind of hard for Simon to try to kind of hold Porsha back when her anger exploded. So imagine them just being in the house with one another and Porsha allegedly or possibly, exploding at him. And then he's trying to restrain her or protect himself. And it could be spin in a completely different way or a completely different narrative that makes Simon like the aggressor, when in actuality, if you're going off past indiscretions or past events, it is Porsha who sometimes come off as not only the agitator but the aggressor when it comes to physical fights. But then again, kinfolk, this is all alleged information and speculation, especially when it comes to Simon and him saying that Porsha showed up to their home with a gunman. Again, something that I think that is was very careless of Porsha to do, if factual. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Simon has a right to feel for his safety against Porsha? Or do you think he's just blowing things out of proportion and just trying to make Porsha look bad? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.